kinds of stuff. TarylFixesAll.com. Pick yourself up something today. And there's your dinner. Taryl here. Today's video is going to be on this here vintage mower. And it's going to be a restoration video. And a restoration for a good cause. So a friend of ours, Kent Reed, every year on his property, he puts on this event to raise money for the homeless veterans of Northwest Indiana. And he's been doing this for years. And him and a bunch of guys, the Rust Belt Riders, they donate their time and money to put on this event. It's a big event. And you may have seen us there before. So he brought me this mower, and he wants me to restore it, and he's gonna do part of the restoration too. And then they're gonna auction it off, and then the money from this is gonna go to help the homeless veterans. So check this thing out. You ever see one of these before? This is called a bluegrass. And there's a little history about this. We had a couple of fans from Louisville, Kentucky come down here a few weeks ago, and they told me the history of this bluegrass equipment made by Belknap Hardware and Manufacturing Company in Louisville, Kentucky. Remember that movie, that 1993 movie, Demolition Man? With Sandra Bullock, Sylvester Stallone, and Wesley Snipes? Well, in that in that movie, which went to video, they blew up this building. They imploded this building. It was the Belknap Hardware building, right there on the river in Louisville. They'd been there forever. The building that got sold, they wanted to demolition it because they wanted to use that riverfront property for a different cause. So it was a 9-story building. You can look it up online and see. MTV was involved in it, and they used the implosion in the movie with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes and Sandra Bullock. So they used to make lawnmowers, and they made tools, hand tools. I've got a wrench that I use as a kickstand on a chopper, a mini chopper that I built, and it says bluegrass on it. They were a big hardware manufacturer in Louisville. You can look it up, and I know a lot of you grass rats watch from Louisville know about this. So this is what we're going to do. This engine, it's 3-horse, brakes and scrap them, and I got to get a plug wrench. But this engine is shot. It needs a total rebuild. It just wore out. So I'm going to rebuild the engine, and Kent is going to take care of the chassis. He's going to do the deck and the handle. So I'm donating all my time and all the parts and everything to redo the engine, and he's doing the rest. But look at it. Look at this plug. It's full of rusty like water, and the plug is all carboned up, so I know the rings are shot. So I kind of evaluated it and went around and scrounged up parts and bought some parts. And I had a lot of this stuff in stock. The wheels I had to buy. I bought these from Rotary. These are Lawn Boy wheels. And there's the part number 161. And they're made here right in the good old USA. So we're using a USA part on this thing. In this restoration for our veterans, our fighting veterans. So these are basically the same size wheels. So I bought 4 of them. I gotta brakes and scrap them, new old stock air cleaner, made in the USA. I had a new old stock Muffkin I'm going to put on there since this one's all blown out. I've got one of these high torque premium aftermarket carburetor rebuild gasket kits here for the carburetor. There's actually two in here. This was also, I believe, made in the USA. New spark plug. I had a brand new pair of new old stock standard rings that I got from a fan, I believe. It's got a John Deere sticker on it, so it was sold through a John Deere equipment dealer. It's got the dealer's name on here. D&E Equipment Company, 6300 South Highway 288B in Angleton, Texas. Any of you grass rats know about this dealer? This is where these rings came from. I've got new old stock oil seals. This gasket says made in US. Briggs sump gasket. New old stock head gasket. It's not graphite. It's an old one, metal one. And a valve cover gasket. And I got points and condenser and all that stuff too. I got tons of new old stock points condenser. So that's probably basically all we're going to need to rebuild this. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the engine off, and then I'm going to give the deck to Kent, and he's going to take care of having the handle painted and doing the deck. He's going to remake this comb. See how in the front of here it's got these teeth? They call it a comb. So it's supposed to comb the grass like combing your hair. The one on the back is missing and broken. So he's going to make a new comb. He'll take this comb off of here, trace it, make a pattern, cut out a new one, stick it on the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to rip this motor apart. We're going to hone the cylinder. We're going to re-ring it. I'll do a valve job and put new points in it and everything. And then I'll paint the engine. And we'll even see about, I'm pretty sure I can go online and buy this decal. I'm pretty sure somebody makes that decal. And we'll try to find the one that goes up here on the top too. So there you go, grass rat. I might have a universal blade I can put on here. The crank looks like it's bent a little bit. I can put it in my straightener and straighten it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to restore this baby. I think it looks pretty neat. Stay tuned. Well, I got the engine pulled off the deck, and I pulled the blower shroud off, and look. Fluffy's friend, Mr. Wasp Nest, was in there. And you can see how nasty this is. So I'm going to pull this blade hub off. And a while back, a commenter had a good idea. He said he uses this, where he took an old air chisel bit and welded a extension on there. And I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? But I can't think of everything. So this is how we're going to do it now. So this way it doesn't slip off when I'm using that pinpoint. Hey, that works pretty good. I'm gonna have to put a longer bolt in there. Or unthread that one some. Try it again. There we go. Let me get a better look at that crank. I thought it was bent. I don't think it is. I think it was just that blade hub was giving it the appearance that it was bent. All right, good. Now let's zip the head off real quick. Take a look in there, and then after that, I'm just gonna totally disassemble this and start the rebuild process. These head bolts seem like they're pretty loose. But let's just get a peek inside here. A lot of build up. Let's get a look at the bore. That's not too bad. It's not all galled up or anything. So yeah, we'll re-ring it anyway. All right. So I'm gonna take it outside, give it a good pressure scrubbing, and then pull the sump cover off, pull the piston, pull the valves, pull it, get it all apart, and get it all cleaned up. Well, I got it somewhat cleaned up, and I started to disassemble it some more, and this thing looks like it had been in a flood. I'm pretty sure I've got one of these brand new old stock, because that's pretty much ruined. And then I was gonna drain the oil out of it, and then we stopped so we could show y'all. I don't even know if there's oil in there. I'm scared to look on the inside now. This thing, like I said, was probably in a flood. Or little Johnny was filling it.
I'm the lawnmower mechanic. Time to service Grandpa's mower. Looks like it needs some gas. Now I gotta add some oil. All good.
Helping Grandpa out and filling it with water. I think it'll clean up. Should have cleaned that shaft off. Alright, hold on. Alright, there we go. Had to clean up that shaft a little bit. Wow. I hope this all cleans up. This is a mess. And there's another problem I just ran into. Uh-oh, money's here. This thing has got a 10 thousandths over piston in it. Can you believe that? They must have took this thing apart and sent it out and had it bored 10 over. That's crazy. You don't do that nowadays on this stuff. Now you just throw it away. And another thing I failed to mention, was the year of this engine and lawnmower. So it's got a code date of 71 on there. So this mower's from 1971 or 72. So I hope I got a set of 10 over rings for this. We'll find out. Well, I got everything cleaned up, and let me tell you, this thing is in bad shape because it had all that water in it. I'm pretty sure it was probably in a flood. But I think we're going to be able to save it because I'd like to keep the original engine. So I got this all cleaned up, got the seal out of it. I had to really cut these valve seats because they were so rusty that I was afraid if I couldn't get them cleaned up, then I was going to have to find another engine to use. So I used my New Way valve seat cutting tool and was able to clean up the seats. And we're going to replace the valves, which I had, new old stock valves. There's the part numbers for this little 3-horse. I got a ton of these valves. I got a bunch of these valves. And they come with the new keeper, the new valve keeper. And they also come with a lump note. Don't you love the lump notes? Dear Taryl, to ensure longer valve guide and stem life, coat valve stem with lead plate grease provided in capsule prior to installation. Warning! Toxic, contains lead, wash hands after using. So back in the day, they would give you this little capsule in here, and it's got some like lead grease in here that you would put on the valve stem. We're not going to use that. We're going to use our gel lube, which we sell in our online store. We're going to coat it with our gel lube. So I went ahead and lapped the valves in already, the new valves. So the next thing I have to do is grind off the stem to get our clearance when I go to reassemble it. And like I said, it comes with a new keeper. The valve springs were pretty rusty too, so I had 2 good ones. I found some gaskets. This is the little gasket. A little gasket for this cover. This is the gasket for this intake tube here. New points condenser. Gas cap, new old stock gas cap, new governor spring, and this is for the carburetor. This is the needle valve, high-speed adjustment. I got a ton of these too. I probably got 20 or 30 of them. Because the other one, when I tried to back the screw out, it was froze in there. Put this in the ultrasonic cleaner. Got her all cleaned up. According to the parts breakdown, this had just a regular gasket. But I have some of these, so I'm going to put one of these on there for the air cleaner. So this is all cleaned up. Tank's all cleaned up because it's aluminum, so the water didn't ruin it. The gas tank was full of water. Cleaned up the camshaft, polished the lobes. I had 1 new valve lifter. I need another one because the valve lifters are shot. What else do we got here? Got our new, had a new old stock valve cover. Had that in stock. So I had a lot of parts for this. Here at the shop. Here's everything we're replacing so far. You can see the tappets. They're pretty bad. So I had 1 new one. The valves, Again, all rusty and nasty. I'm not going to try to clean them up and reuse them. The valve springs were pretty rusty. I don't trust them. I mean, it even rotted off the little plunger on the diaphragm. So this thing is getting a total rebuild. Uncle Pat was here the other day. He's going to see if he can find me a crankshaft. If not, I'm going to use this one over. I cleaned it up. I polished it. It's got some pitting on the journal, but you know, that's just gonna add more oil to it, so that should help. I did plastic gauge the rod. I put the connecting rod on the crankshaft and put some plastic gauge on there, and I got 3/1000, which is kind of, it might knock. I did have a brand new old stock connecting rod for this engine, which I'll probably never use until now. We'll use it on this. So I plastic gauged it. In case you don't know what plastic gauge is, you can get this at an auto parts store. It's just a little piece of clay, just a little clay rod that's in here. And a bunch of it just fell out because I was holding it upside down. Here's a piece right here. So that's what it looks like, plastic gauge. So you cut a little piece of this off, and you stick it on the journal, and then you tighten the connecting rod down. Then you take the cap back off, like I did here, and it smashes that little piece of clay, or that little piece of rod. And then this is how you tell how many thousandths clearance you got. So this is a 1/1000 to 3/1000. And then you just match it, you know, however it smashed it, you just match it to that. So this one's at 2/1000, which is good. So if we can't come up with a new crankshaft, then I'm just going to put a new connecting rod on here. Oh, I did find a set of 20/1000 or 10/1000 over piston rings, because they don't make the rings. Brakes and Scrap 'em don't make the rings anymore, the oversized rings. Rotary had them. So I got a set of rings coming from Rotary, because look, these rings are stuck. Look at, they're stuck in the piston. They're stuck in there. So I'm waiting for the new rings to come. This head got bored over. And then look at the rod, just in case you're thinking there's something wrong with the rod. This little cutout is supposed to be there. That's factory. So you may take one of these apart and go, there's something wrong with this rod. Look, it's got all ate away right there. Why is it all ate away? No, that's the way it's supposed to be. See? The new old stock rods still got that same cutout. So that's where we're at so far. Everything clean, ready to go. Honed it. Washed this in soap and water. It's all nice and clean. You can see where the water started to corrode the inside of the block. But again, this is just a little 3-horse engine on a push mower. It's not the space shuttle. So we'll have most of the parts are new. It'll run just fine. So that's where we're at. Now we can start reassembling as soon as the rings get here. I got the block all ready to go. I honed it as best I could, got out as much of the scratches and marks that I could out of it, recut the valve seats, and then I washed it in soap and water. But you could see that, you know, there's a little corrosion that was starting, because I think this thing was underwater. So then I'm looking at the crankshaft. You know, I cleaned it up, but it's marginal. I probably could have got away with it, but you could see there was a lot of rust and everything, and it started to ruin the journal. And I don't know if I got that polished enough. Plus this journal here, it's got some wear on it. So I got a hold of Uncle Pat, and I said, hey, I need a crankshaft for this thing. And he knows a guy in Joliet, Illinois. So now listen up closely, grass rats, because this guy's got a bunch, hoard of new old stock parts. So Pat goes, give me the part numbers. I'm going to go over there and see if he's got a crankshaft. And I go, I need a tappet too, because I was short one tappet. And again, I thought, well, I might be able to get away with the one that was on there, but I'd hate to use it. I could have ordered a new one. So Pat went over there, and sure enough, he had the crankshaft, new old stock. He had it under the old number and the new number that it went to. It superseded to this new number. So we got the original part number. Brand new. In the box with the Cosmoline still on it that I'll have to wash off. Crankshaft for this engine. And the new tappet. This is still available. I could have got one through my Briggs dealer, through Power Distributors, who I deal with. Or Pro Parts could have got it for me. ProPartsDirect.net. I could have got it from them. There were several places I could get it. But Gary at H&R Pump, and we're going to give you his address and his phone number because he wants to sell parts. He's got all these new old stock parts and he ships. He will ship them. So, H&R Pump, Joliet, Illinois. His name is Gary. The address is 2111 East Washington Street. And his phone number is area code 815-726-2950. He's got new old stock Home Light, Brakes and Scrap 'em, Tecumseh, Lawn Boy, Murray, AYP, MTD, and many other brands. If you're not sure, just give him a call. Maybe he's got a part you're looking for. Give Gary a call. So thank you, Gary. He donated this because we told him what we were doing, that this is for the homeless veterans, and he said, this is my donation to help out Taryl, and he's a Taryl fan. He says, I'll give you those parts. And I said, we will give you a mention. So we got a new crank. We got a new connecting rod. We got new rings. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier because a few weeks have gone by since we started filming on this again, but Rotary had the 10,000ths over rings. And there's a Rotary number, 2475. They had the new 10,000ths over rings. So I took one out and I checked the end gap. Now it's within tolerances. What I do with the piston. I mean, it's a lot closer. These rings will work. Here's one of the old rings. Stick that in there. You can see what kind of gap we had. Look at, that's a huge gap. So those rings were shot. I wish it was a little tighter, but I'm not going to try to bore this, and I mean, it'll work. So we got the new rings. Like I said, we got a new connecting rod. We're going to reuse the piston. What else? A new gas cap I got from Rotary, $13.59. You don't use the first two numbers. So there's a new, and that little elbow for the carburetor. So we basically have everything. You know, it would have been nice if I could have had a gasket set, but since I had a lot of those gaskets individually. So then I found this other place on Fleabay called EngineDecals.com, and they're in Bend, Oregon. And this was the last set. It says last one on the listing. And I believe, I don't know if he's reproducing these or if these are OEM. But I've got the decals. That's the one that goes on the gas tank. This is the one that goes right here. We got the full set. Air cleaner and this one, which goes right here. So we got them all. We got all the decals, all the parts, because this engine was in bad shape. Now we just got to wait for Kent to get us the deck back. Now, we're not going to sit there and film me putting the piston in, putting it all back together. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Just take a ring compressor, put the rings on, compress it, put it in, put the crank in. Just make sure you got oil on the journals. What else did I do? Oh, these were rusted real bad. So I cleaned these up. Now I like to use vinegar. Now I know you can use muriatic acid and you can use all these other products. I'm well aware of all that. I don't like using that muriatic acid because it gives off a lot of heavy fumes and I don't like breathing that stuff. I mean, it works fast. I could have poured muriatic acid in there and had this clean real quick but I had time. So I got a 5-gallon bucket of white vinegar. I just threw it into white vinegar, and I know they got other products, Evapo Rust and all these other ones to clean it with, but you know what? White vinegar, if you got time, will clean that rust off. And then I just took a Scotch-Brite and kind of scratched it up. But it got it clean. What else? This was rusted real bad. Threw that in the vinegar too. This was real sloppy and floppy. So I put a new rivet in there. I had a rivet. And the trick to that was when I was squeezing the rivet gun, I just let it put so much tension on it, then I stopped and I drove that little nail out before I snapped it off because I didn't want it to be tight. And I didn't want to have to hunt down another one. And what else? I think there was a baffle too. There's an engine baffle that goes on here. That wraps around here. I cleaned that up too. I gotta find that. I thought it was in this box. It's around here somewhere. But I cleaned that up too. So now the next time you see this engine, it's gonna be all assembled and painted. Now the paint. What did I do with the paint? I bought some paint to paint it with. This is what I bought. This is that True Value brand premium decor because we got a True Value real close to us. And this is Navajo white. Because I don't want it real bright white. I want it kind of off-white. Now you can tell on this blower shroud that somebody had painted over it at one time. Because I cleaned it up some. And this was the original color. Kind of an off-white. So this is pretty close. Don't have to be exact. But since we got that True Value right here. Here's the shroud. Duh. Here's that shroud. I put that in the vinegar and cleaned it up too. Laying right there, dummy. So now I can spray this and these bumpers. I have these little plastic bumpers that go in here. I'm gonna put a new rope in it. And then I'll oil this up, but we'll put a new rope in it. And I've got those old school plastic bumpers that go on there. Because this one I broke off. That's why they give you these extra ones. These extra tabs, in case you break one off, you could use the other tabs. We'll get that lubed up with our gel lube, which we sell in our online store. Put a new rope in it. I'll find a different handle because that's not the original handle. I've got those too. I've got the rubber handle. I'll put that on there. We'll get it all back together. Get it spray painted. And there's your dinner. So if you want to see how to rebuild one of these, we did a rebuild video. An in-depth, step-by-step rebuild video on a 5-horse horizontal shaft brakes and scrap them. This is a 3-horse. Works exactly the same way. It's just a vertical, not a horizontal. So you can check that video out, and I walk you through the whole thing, how to do it and put it all together and assemble it. Check that one out. Well, we got the deck back, and it's ready. Look at it. Look how it turned out. It's beautiful. Now, there was paint on there, right?
No, there wasn't paint, but there was decades of oxidization and lawn mowing gummed up and grease. And
so originally it was this.
I'm assuming.
Okay, yeah.
Looks cool now.
It does. It looks better than painting it. And he painted the wheels to match the color of the engine and the handle. He did a wonderful job. He also made the new combs, front and back, out of aluminium. Oh, we forgot to tighten this one.
Well, I've got to leave something for Taryl to do.
We got to tighten them up. Front and back, and he added a drag flap. Because he noticed that there was no safety. And this handle doesn't flop back and forth like some mowers where you can flop it over. But it turned out good. So now all we have to do is put the engine on. And here's the engine, all finished, all stickered up. So all we have to do now is put this on. And
Well, that's cool.
put some dinosaur syrup in it, some dinosaur juice, put the blade on, and it'll be all ready to go. And we'll fire it up, fire it up, fire it up. Now, as I mentioned, this is for a good cause. Everybody that's involved in this donated their time and their own money. And Kent here is the president of the organization that puts it on, the Rust Belt Riders. Now you want to talk a little bit about that, about the event?
There's a little bit of a story behind this. Each year we raffle off an old vehicle. This year we're raffling off a 1979 Dodge D100. It's actually a Warlock pickup if you're a Dodge guy. Neat running truck. So we hold this event exclusively as a fundraiser for an organization called Veterans Life Changing Services. It's a homeless veterans home. This is the 11th year we've done it. So we bought this truck off of a Vietnam veteran, and then when we went back to pick it up, he said, hey, I've got something else you may want. I seen you do a silent auction. And he gave us this. And I came to Taryl because I know he does this neat restoration type stuff. He did his part. I did our part with the body and frame and stuff like that. And if you want to show this, the 11th Annual Rust Belt Rebellion, we call it. And this is what all we do that day. We race Hot Wheels. We drag race Hot Wheels. We demolition derby. We take an old custom painted wheelbarrow, fill it full of booze, and you raffle it off. You get the wheelbarrow too. And then after we raffle, do a silent auction things, this will go on a silent auction. This mower will. And then there's other things. We were given a modified pedal car that looks like an old 60s gas or dragster.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
then a guy specifically built it for us to put in our silent auction. And so we got things like that, plus whatever around the house. People, hot rods pull in with ladders sticking out the back to put on the auction stuff. It's just fun stuff. So this will go on that. But then after we get done giving away the awards and trophies and award whoever wins the silent auction things, we raffle off the pickup. We put all the tickets in a cement mixer. You have to understand the mystique of the event. It's really a lot of fun for families. And then when we give away the truck, there's outdoor professional wrestling that goes on for 2.5 hours. We have a good time. It'll be August 17th in Shelby, Indiana. The zip code is 46377. If you want to come, we have outstanding food and homemade ice cream, Taryl. Homemade ice cream. Yeah, that's where showing up alone. But it's for great cause, and the people from the home will be down doing the cooking and stuff like that. We do great food and things like that. And so Taryl, thank you very much for what you've done with, I know you did a lot of work, and you'll explain that later on the engine and that, and I spent the whole dad burn day putting that thing back together yesterday, so that's cool. Thank you very much. And it's for a great cause. It really is.
And it is for a good cause. So if you're interested in going, check it out. Look it up and come out and have some fun.
August 17th, motorcycle show, hot rod car, custom, anything you like to drive, come put it in the show. Oh, and by the way, I didn't wear one today, but we don't do t-shirts. We do cool, custom printed shop shirts. That's what you get when you come in. You can only buy them at the Rust Belt Rebellion.
And there's your dinner. All right, so let me get this thing back together and get the blade on it, and we'll get it going.
Cool beans. Very cool. Rock on, man.
Well, there it is. Got the engine all mounted on there. Got a new blade put on there. Got all the decals on there. Put a new throttle control on it. Filled it with dinosaur syrup and some dinosaur juice. Looks good, don't it? Some lucky person's gonna get this when they auction it off at that event. So let's fire it up, fire it up, fire it up! I hope he ain't gonna be there. See what kind of job I did on this. A good job, I already know.
It's not starting.
Would help if I put it on fast. Set the idle up a little bit, but it runs. We're burning that paint off that muffin, that OEM Briggs muffin. That's getting burned off of there. But there you have it. Just got to set the idle up. Look at it. I think it turned out really well. It looks good, but there's just one more thing we need to do. One more sticker I forgot to put on there, and that's this one. We need to put this on there. Well, I think I know right where to put it. So this is your proof that if you get this thing, it was touched by my hands. My dirty hands. And there's your dinner. Woo! restoring a old 1971 bluegrass mower for a good cause. So, you like this video? Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you already haven't. Follow me with your antique mowers on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Check out our web store. We got all kinds of stuff for sale there. There's something there that you want and you need, so go check it out. And as always, there's your dinner. Woo! Look at that! Boy, is that thing sharp looking. That's a good looking mower. 18 inches.